Welcome to Movies in the Making. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at the 2013 epic fantasy film The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, originally released by Warner Bros. And directed by Peter Jackson. Here, we will dive deep into the production of this film. The book might be small compared to The Lord of the Rings, but with a trilogy made based on it, so much had to happen during production. So, sit back and enjoy the show. You are all in for an unexpected ride. In The Desolation of Smaug, the titular antagonist is portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch, who previously acted with Martin Freeman for the BBC drama series Sherlock. The casting was accidentally revealed by Freeman at the British Academy of Film and Television Awards, taking place on the 22nd of May 2011, when he accepted his Best Actor award for Sherlock. The casting was meant as a secret. However, Cumberbatch's role had not been specified until the 19th of June 2011. According to Peter Jackson, the reason Cumberbatch would have the specific role as Smaug was because Jackson considered him to be perfect for the role. One other role Cumberbatch portrays is the necromancer, who would later be Sauron, the antagonist of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. For both roles, Cumberbatch went through motion capture. This meant that to serve for his role required having tracking dots all over his face and wearing a helmet that was complete with a camera meant to record all of his facial expressions. To enhance his role as Smaug, Cumberbatch even prepared for it by visiting the London Zoo so that he could study animals such as lizards, which he felt was helpful to him as dragons are reptiles, just like lizards in real life. All of this was to avoid doing just the voice of his character and instead feeling like the character. With motion capture, Cumberbatch was even given advice on it by Andy Serkis, who previously did motion capture for Gollum on the Lord of the Rings films and the previous Hobbit film An Unexpected Journey. Desolation of Smaug introduces the elven character Tauriel, who is non-existent in the source material. To portray this character, actress Evangeline Lilly purposefully avoided rewatching the Lord of the Rings films for fear of copying how the actors portrayed their elven characters. This highlighted that she took the idea of the character being original seriously and decided that she should do her own performance for the character to add to the originality. She was also trained to be athletic to prepare for any action sequence her character would be part of, showing that while her character was new to the Middle-earth lore, she would be an important addition to the story of the film. In this film, the Forest of Mirkwood was filmed in several locations across New Zealand. The primary filming location for Mirkwood's dense and eerie woodland scenes was the Fiordland National Park in South Island. Specifically, the areas around Kepler Trek and Waiau River were used to create the dark, foreboding atmosphere of the forest. Mirkwood is notable as the place where the dwarves are entangled by giant spiders' webs, but Bilbo fights off the spiders. The scene during which the dwarves are in barrels going through a river was filmed at the Pelorus River in Marlborough. The scene itself was both challenging and thrilling for the cast as they navigated the river in oversized barrels, adding an unforgettable element to their adventure. Became one of the most standout moments of the production, both for its unique setting and the fun it brought to the actors, much so that Dwarf Bombers actor Stephen Hunter described it as his favorite day on set. The entrance for the Lonely Mountain was filmed at Mount Ruapehu. Filming at that place only lasted a single day. Scaffolding required was taken down out of care towards the natural plants so that they could minimize their potentially negative environmental impact. Mount Ruapehu had previously served as the filming location for Mount Doom in The Lord of the Rings The Return of the King. The fact that it served as a key site for both the Lord of the Rings trilogy and as the Lonely Mountain in the Hobbit trilogy further connects the two epic sagas and showcases the beauty and versatility of New Zealand's landscapes as the backdrop for Middle-earth. The visual effects were done by Weta Effects. Just like with An Unexpected Journey, the supervisors were Joe Lettery, Eric Sandin, Chris White, and Matt Aitken. The animation supervisors were also Dave Clayton and Eric Reynolds once again. More detail on visual effects for this film were needed than the previous installment, An Unexpected Journey. The visual effects team at Weta relied on cutting-edge technology, including the use of motion capture, digital compositing, and 3D modeling, to create the rich world of The Hobbit that was a seamless blend of practical effects and CGI. The compositing was done by 140 workers who did this to about 2,000 shots for the film. The Desolation of Smaug showcases the stunning visual style and cinematography that defined Peter Jackson's Middle-earth films. Like An Unexpected Journey, this film was shot in high frame rate, HFR, and 3D, offering a dynamic, immersive viewing experience that set it apart from traditional cinema. The use of high frame rate, in particular, enhanced the visual clarity and fluidity of the action sequences, especially in the tense and thrilling moments like the barrel ride down the Pelorus River and the confrontation with Smaug. The film's visuals are breathtaking, with lush, detailed landscapes that range from eerie, shadow-filled forests of Mirkwood to the molten, treasure-filled cavern of the Lonely Mountain. The atmosphere is further elevated by the sophisticated blend of practical effects and CGI, bringing the world of Middle-earth to life in a way that feels both grand and intimate. Peter Jackson's decision to shoot the Hobbit films in high frame rate, HFR, and 3D provide a unique cinematic experience. HFR, which involves shooting at 48 frames per second FPS instead of the traditional 24 frames per second, create a smoother, more fluid experience, particularly in action sequences. During moments like the barrel ride down to the Pelorus River or the confrontation with Smaug, the high frame rate offered a level of clarity and precision that allowed the audience to fully appreciate the film's intricate choreography and visual effects. The use of 3D further enhanced the immersive nature of the film, drawing the audience into the world of Middle-earth. While the HFR and 3D technology sparkled debate among critics, there's no denying that they set The Hobbit apart from traditional cinematic experiences. Howard Shore's return as composer for the Hobbit trilogy ensured that the music would continue to play a key role in shaping the emotional landscape of Middle-earth. His score for the Desolation of Smaug mixes themes from the Lord of the Rings trilogy with new compositions, using sweeping orchestral moments to enhance both the grand scale of the story and the intimacy of its character moments. Specific pieces, such as the theme associated with Smaug, are designed to convey the dragon's overwhelming power and a sense of impending doom. In addition to the score, sound design also plays a critical role. The deep, resonating growls of Smaug, the rumble of his footsteps, and the clattering of his treasure all contribute to the immersive experience. The sounds of the river and the splashing barrels add a sense of adventure, enhancing the high-energy moments with vibrant auditory detail. As the credits roll, the song Icy Fire plays. It was written and performed by Ed Sheeran, who himself has since been famous for songs like Shape of You, 2017, and Bad Habits, 2021. Peter Jackson's daughter Katie suggested Sheeran should do the ending song for The Desolation of Smaug. After Peter contacted him to serve for that purpose, Sheeran took the plane to New Zealand and, once meeting Peter, watched the film to decide what song would fit the film. Sheeran wrote the song at Park Road Post, a post-production studio owned by Jackson's company Wingnut Films, based in Miramar in Wellington. The song was written and recorded in just one day, where Sheeran even learned to play the violin. The Hobbit book by J.R.R. Tolkien has a total of 19 chapters. The Desolation of Smaug covers chapters 7 to 13. Because the book was originally made for children, hence part of the reason why Jackson decided to adapt The Lord of the Rings first, as the book felt more sophisticated to him, it is short compared to the Lord of the Rings book. Consequently, some scenes were elongated to justify the Hobbit adaptation as a trilogy, just like The Lord of the Rings. With The Desolation of Smaug, one notable change, for example, was introducing the character Tauriel, who Legolas falls in love with, to add to her significance that she develops a crush on Dwarf Keeley. Peter Jackson's adaptation incorporates elements from Tolkien's larger Middle-earth mythology. The film delves deeper into the growing shadow of Sauron, represented by the Necromancer. The storyline, barely mentioned in the Hobbit book, is woven throughout the trilogy to create a bridge between the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. The introduction alone adds a darker tone to the film as it foreshadows the conflict of the Lord of the Rings. The atmosphere of dread and unease as Sauron's forces grow in power is a compelling contrast to the more whimsical elements of the story, reminding audiences that even the most innocent adventures can come with great peril. As of the 5th December 2024, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, has a 74% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 66 out of 100 score on Metacritic, a 7.8 rating on IMDb, and a 3.4 rating on Letterboxd. The film's budget was $217 to $250 million, and it grossed about $958 million during its theatrical release over the course between the 11th of December 2013 and the 28th of February 2014. Upon its release, The Desolation of Smaug received generally positive reviews, with many praising the action sequences, the performances, and the visual effects. However, some critics took issue with the film's pacing and expansion of the story, which was stretched across 3 films despite the original book being relatively short. The decision to adapt J.R.R. Tolkien's children's novel into a trilogy drew mixed reactions from fans, with some appreciating the additional depth and others questioning the need for it. The film also made a significant impact on the global popularity of New Zealand as a prime filming location. Fans of the film flocked to locations like the Pelorus River and Mount Ruapehu, further solidifying the country's association with the world of Middle-earth. And that wraps up our deep dive into the making of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. We've journeyed through what Benedict Cumberbatch did to fulfill his role as Smaug, the introduction to the character Tauriel, and how Ed Sheeran made this song I See Fire for the film. The Desolation of Smaug was the second installment of a trilogy that attempted to expand upon a highly acclaimed trilogy. This new adaptation adapted the world of Middle-earth and served as both a continuation of the beloved Lord of the Rings saga and as a reimagining of the trilogy's prequel. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on all things movies in the making. Let us know in the comments what you think of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, if you have any favorite moments from the film we didn't touch upon, or if there is any movie you want to hear about from this channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Movies in the Making, where I'll be talking about The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, Warner Bros. 2014, and more films to follow along the way. Tune in for more Movies in the Making as we uncover the stories behind cinema's most unforgettable films. This has been Jason Scotchmer, film enthusiast and passionate about the arts.